All right, welcome back. We're talking about time management, clock management. At the end of the first half, long drive by Tennessee, Mark Kaboly, and they scored. However, the Steelers had an opportunity to call timeouts, use them in meaningful situations so as to give time to their offense. And quite frankly, Ben Roethlisberger is better in the 2-minute offense, and they would have had that opportunity until he didn't call those timeouts. He defended that. Your take on that situation?
Well, I think the answer might have been worse than him not calling the timeouts. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense what he said of the reason why. You could still call timeouts and make, stop him on defense as well. The thing where I don't tend to understand with Tomlin is the way he, they had a chance to win this, score this game, score at the end of the half here. And normally when you do clock management, it usually doesn't really matter, okay, whatever, we just complain about clock management. But this one had a real impact on it because they missed that 56-yard field goal. You go 5 yards ahead, maybe you make it, then that last drive doesn't mean anything whatsoever. I don't understand why you don't call a couple times, I'll save up a minute and let Roethlisberger do what he wants to. You can still get what you accomplished and keep him out of the end zone as well. It's just mind-boggling. Usually I ignore it because it's time management, doesn't matter. But this was just not really acceptable in my eyes.
Yeah, and Cowher even came out at halftime, Mark, and ripped Tomlin, probably the most scathing criticism. Didn't say Tomlin by name, but thought it was very peculiar as well. Yeah, I mean, it could have been the difference between a win or a loss. And Mike Tomlin, I guess, to his credit, his defense ended up bailing him out in the end with the 3 takeaways in the second half. The other thing about his answer that made no sense to me is, he wants to make Tennessee play it out, do whatever you can to make sure they don't score. You're not worried about your offense getting back out there to score points. Jeff, I thought the timeouts could have helped the gassed defense. It would have had a dual purpose. He would have been able to conserve time for Roethlisberger for an offensive series before Tennessee got the ball in the second half. But plus, Jeff, his defense was on the field for 10 minutes there. They could have used a blow in that situation.
Yeah, and I get what you guys are saying. I understand him not using the timeouts, but be consistent with it. Like, don't then call a timeout and give yourself 20 seconds. If you're going to let it count all the way down, let it count all the way down. I get it. Your offense was horrible. You don't think you'd be able to move the ball anyhow. So you're not going to use the timeouts. I understand that philosophy. What's mind-numbing to me is, why do you kind of go halfway? Well, you're kind of half letting the clock run down, and you're kind of half doing something where you don't have enough time. Like, just be one way or the other. And I thought he was inconsistent in that, and it could have cost him. I mean, what if the Steelers would have turned it over right there? That would have been game over.
Yeah, no question about it. It was something big. Andrew, I want to ask you about this. Slow starts. We've talked about it all season long. It continued today. They've been outscored just lopsidedly 91-19 in their last 5 games in the first half. We saw last week 29-0, only 3 points today. Isn't that supposed to be scripted? Isn't that supposed to be preparation? Isn't that supposed to be understanding what the team that you're playing against doesn't do so that you can attack it? Why isn't it working this way?
Yeah, but I think it's also, Bob, about what your team does best given the players that are available to you, okay? You know that you have a quarterback right now that for whatever reason at 39 years old, he's more comfortable when he is deciphering what he's going to do based on what he sees in real time. And they just don't want to do that. I mean, they'll let him do shotgun, okay. They'll let him do an RPO, but they're not giving the offense over to Roethlisberger. This whole cockamamie thing from Tomlin earlier this week about how the first possession of the game is to feel out the defense and not score points. I've never in my entire life heard another NFL head coach say that's the purpose of the opening drive. So to Jeff's point from earlier, they've even moved the goalposts on that. No, I think they for whatever reason in Ben's final year, don't want to make it all about him. And I have a problem with that.
Yeah, think about it, Andrew. We're talking about a guy that has 19 years experience of being a quarterback Hall of Famer, and they're allowing the guy who came from college 9 straight years with 9 different teams making the decisions rather than the 19-year veteran deciphering where he wants. It just all seems like it's backwards and messed up a little bit. And it really seems to me that Canada doesn't want to put him in position to be able to run that offense. And I don't know why. I would come out right off the bat. And we've seen this in the Antonio Brown years. go to that quick stuff, go to that no huddle stuff. Not even no huddle, just where he's out there deciphering early, and I bet you have a better chance of succeeding. But I understand a little bit because they want to see different formations, how the other team reacts to it. But we're talking about Tennessee Titans out here. It's not like the Steelers are, the Titans are doing much of a difference of any sort of crazy defense. They're putting everybody in the box and trying to stop the run.
Andrew, we discussed this on Friday. I do think Ben Roethlisberger has a better grasp for this offense than Matt Canada
Absolutely.
does. And that is because of the years that he's spent in the league. Not a slam at Canada as much as it's a compliment to Ben. Let Ben do more. Although I will say this, I think some of what we saw today was lack of execution. There were some screen plays. There was miscommunication between Harris and Ben. I think today was not as much about game plan as it was about bad execution. There was bad execution in that first half.
When we come back, we're going to talk about the Ravens and how they lost again today, which has made this division very much up for grabs. We'll also talk about some of the key decisions the Steelers have to make moving forward with some of their better players. It's all coming up right here as we continue on the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown.